So I have to stream it directly to my personal page and then move it over to the Northern Lights group. So it'll be just a moment. And then we're going to give... Yeah, I can hear you. So I've taken everybody off of the viewable screen. You should all be able to talk still. So it'll be just a minute. Okay, no worries. Okay. Okay, so we are live. I'm gonna... All right, so we're gonna give people a minute to log into the stream for a second, and then I'll add you guys in. Let's get... So I can only have 4 people showing at a time. So there will be times where I'm on, times where I'm not on. Let's see. Looks like Jamie...
Time to go live.
Looks like Jamie is lost again.
Oh. Now I can see myself on the Northern Lights page.
Nice.
Amazing.
All right, so we're just going to let this roll for just a few minutes. We're a few minutes early, and then I'll do a little introduction. Looks like we've got 5 viewers already, so that's pretty cool.
Hell yeah. America. Where'd Jamie go?
Timbuktu?
She's here. You can only see 4 people on the screen at a time. So, yeah. So I'll bounce in and out as I'm asking questions and not. So, all right. Yeah. So you're on, Jamie. It's just because you are you're a 5th person, so you can't be on the screen at the same time as us. But yeah, you're good. Okay. All right. So we've got some viewers. So you guys, thanks for joining in to watch. If you don't know what's going on right now, this is an Amtgard like Flame Path AMA. So it Ask Me Anything. I'm your host, Gwyn. I'm going to be asking some questions to our participants here. And then towards the end, we'll open it up for questions from our viewers. Again, questions need to stay along the flame path. So anything service related. And again, the goal for this is just to help educate, to share. And then not everybody here is looking towards the goal of knighthood, because that's not the only means for the flame path. Sometimes we just like to serve and do good things. So that's pretty cool. All right. So first question is, who are you guys really? So I'm going to bounce that real quick, and then
I've lost. Okay, I see now.
Mine just said okay. There.
All right, so we're starting with who we are.
Yeah.
Who wants to go
All
first on that?
I guess I'll go. Hi, I'm DeVry. I have been playing Amtgard for like 17 or 18 years since 2002. And I started getting into running battle games and stuff about 8 years ago when our land had died, and then we tried to restart it. So, yeah, that's me.
I'll go next. Hi, I'm Rune Silver. I've been in the game since '97. Took a hiatus, came back. I got into the Lion Path, which is service through leadership. So
Okay, so I guess I'll go. I am Christine. I started back in 2009, and yeah, just been doing my thing.
Okay, I'm Galleria. Most of you call me Gally now from pronouncing the name wrong over the time. So I've been playing the game for about 6, I think 7 years now. Started out at Shrouding Mist, recently changed to Greenwood Keep. And yeah, that's about it.
So it seems like there's a pretty big lag between the stream and the video.
Yeah.
We should probably just keep talking and trust that the stream's going to keep up.
Probably.
Get off.
okay. So moving on to the next question for you guys. Are any of you a part of a knightly family, be that in or like a belted line, so nobility or knightly?
Who wants to go first?
I'll go. Yeah, I'm part of a belted line that produces, well, fosters. I don't know how to pronounce that. It's just a nightly line. We range all over the place.
I am part of a nightly line. It's very small, but we like to encourage everybody to do their thing.
I'm under Lady Kaylin, Lady Mom. Got quite a few different awesome Squire brothers and sisters throughout the team too. We all are really big about supporting each other, and I'm really blessed and lucky to have such a supportive belted line.
Hi. So okay. I'm confused. So my belted line is actually comes from Michael Hammer of God, which is interesting. That's my knight, Megiddo. I met him a couple years ago at Winter Bash, and he saw me put somebody in a chokehold and decided he wanted to belt me. It was a very interesting discovery when I found out why the offer was made.
All right, interesting.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. So, let's see. All right. So, next question. All right. So what flame path are you guys working on? Lion, Rose, or Smith?
I'm on 3 different paths, but as far as flame goes, I have 2. I'm working under Rose and Smith.
I have 3 different paths as well, but as far as flame goes, it's under Rose and Lion.
Currently, with the path that I'm choosing, I'm doing a lot of like. I guess the way is the best way to put it. Sorry, my dog's just freaked out. Hold on. I'll answer in a second.
We'll just mute her for a moment.
Okay. So I have. I guess I'm on 3 paths, but it's Lion and Smith, and I've got 8 Smiths and like 5 Lions.
Nice.
Gallery is back, I think.
All right. 1 minute.
Sorry about that. My dog's freaked out for a second. So like I was saying, as far as those 3 paths go, all 3 within the flame path are stuff I strive to do. I'm very, very into Smith. I think that's my first goal, even though it's probably my lowest at this point in time. I love writing battle games and running battle games and the like. So all 3 of them, but definitely Smith is my first goal out of the 3.
Awesome. All right. Next question. So I'd like each of you to take the time to explain each flame path. So Lion, Rose, and Smith. I'm not necessarily looking for definitions out of the rules of play. I'm looking for your ideas on what qualifies for each one and just a brief explanation.
Who wants to start?
DeVry, why don't you take it first?
Okay. So I'm going to start with the 2 that I'm most comfortable and familiar with. So Smiths are basically for running battle games and organizing events, running and organizing events. So you could get a Smith for either running battle games in your home park or at a large kingdom event. Being the warocrat for a large war might be a good qualifier for a large Smith. It can also be used for running fundraisers or demos or things like that. Those can be considered Smiths as well. Smith and Rose sometimes will kind of overlap in weird ways. I wish they were a little better defined, but because sometimes you get somebody who gets a Rose for something that might have been a Smith, or a Smith for something that might have been a Rose, but it's just kind of hard to define sometimes. The Lion path is for leadership. Technically, it's I believe it's out of office, but I've been given Lions for in office, but now we have crowns, so I think it's just generally a leadership thing. So again, organizing and running events, stepping up when you're not required to make sure things are done, basically taking responsibility for the function and organization of the club. And Roses are service, and a lot of these can be mixed and matched, and you can get Roses for things that should be perhaps for something else or vice versa. And Roses are service stuff. A lot of times it's serving food. Hello.
We're live on the Northern Lights.
Serving food, running gate, stuff like that. A lot of people get Roses for things like that, volunteering their time.
Could have worn me before that.
I'm done.
I'll go next. Yeah, Smith is for me. It's for just getting out there and doing battle games and organizing stuff that most people wouldn't, or volunteering. Like DeVry said, it's goes hand in hand with a couple of the other ones too. Smiths can be a wide range of things, mainly to help the park out, whether it's running battle games or organizing an event. Roses are for stepping up being there when somebody needs you, picking up garbage. It could be any, not really wide range, but it service to the park, which helps out not only the land, but it also helps out the kingdom. Now, Lions for leadership doesn't matter if it's in or out of office, in my opinion. They kind of go hand in hand because whether you're in office or out of office, the leadership actually shows. So, yeah.
Okay, I'll go next. I think that personally, what I can see with it is that there's a lot of gray area within it, and I think that's something that's needs a bit of improvement upon, in my personal opinion. But I do see that, for my personal opinion, Smith is very much ranged around running battle games, running quests, writing quests, and taking care of events and running, like, you know, say like a quals or something like that. And then I feel that roses are kind of like your service, like we've said before, and service like into the game itself, like doing some dishes or something during an event, or picking up some trash during an event, or maybe helping along the side of somebody who is taking a leadership position and running something. Whereas the Lions kind of counterparts to the side of that, where it's that leadership role in and out of office, where you're willing to take that extra step and lead a team of people and continuously growing Amtgard with that leadership, because leadership is not something that not necessarily is easy. And I feel like that's the hardest thing about Lions, is there definitely a time when you're showing leadership among a group of people. So that's where I see the three definitions between the three different realms of service. So
So I guess my three definitions, I'm just going to go off of what I personally know, what I've been awarded. Smith, most recently, it's something I just started working up. No. And, you know, for things as simple as teaching a class, even if you're sitting at the field and 5 people sit around you and start watching what you're doing, you're willing to teach them, you're willing to let them learn. From planning events like Ithras, mid-range, coronations, Kaylee's, battle games, quests. Those are all amazing Smith-like traits, which can take a lot out of you unless you are somebody who really likes to do that kind of stuff, which is awesome. Roses, for me, it's just been simple. Any small or large service to the game, you know, every small thing helps. That person who always has a cigarette for another member who might always need a cigarette without ever expecting a thank you. The person who picks up the field after a regular day for whoever left their garbage. You know, every small bit of service. Lion, for me, has always been going above and beyond. You might be in office, so it's something typically people expect, but you go a bit more than that. Or you're not in office, but you help somebody that is in office. You know, simple things for me. That's what makes up the flame path for me.
All right, great answers, you guys. So kind of in combination with that question, we got one from a viewer that was pre-submitted, and it says, sometimes awards are given for the wrong path, like a rose instead of a lion. How do you personally handle this? Or how do you take it if you receive a different award than what you were expecting?
I don't know if I've had that happen to me. Yeah, I might have, but I don't think I've had that happen to me. I would probably just, I'll get it next time and keep going.
Yeah, I'm about the same way. I'm not really in it for the awards, more or less. I'm in it for the game because, well, it's enjoyable.
I think it kind of goes along with what I was saying before about the gray area within the whole flame path. Is there's a lot of things that tend to overlap within the flame path. So overall, if I feel like something might have been in one category, but the person who gave the award felt it's in another category, it is truly something that they decided on. So maybe if it has happened to me where I thought it was maybe one thing, but it turned out to be another, I just simply asked the monarch that gave me the award, like, what was your reasonings for putting it in this category? Got more insight on it. I was never upset to begin with, but it was a good way to understand exactly where they were coming from. So it was a learning lesson for me in that opportunity.
I don't think I've ever actually gotten an award that should have been something else. Usually when I get an award, it's a lot surprising. But when I've had other people talk to me about that, I've just told them, talk to your monarchy and see what's going on. That's why when I've given out awards, I always try to make sure that they fall under categories and explain why they got what award they got.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. So diving a little deeper, let's see. What are some of your strengths in the service path? What do you do best?
Help.
You know, I honestly don't know how to answer that. I just feel like I'm a very selfless person and I tend to like to give a lot. And so I feel like I also really like to lead, being that I'm a manager in real life and I manage a crew of people. I really enjoy, and I feel like I do excel in leadership when I'm given the opportunity. So maybe that's probably where I'm at.
Yeah, no, go ahead, DeVry. You had it first.
Okay. So my strengths probably come with getting good ideas going and running battle games. Like, I understand generally the mechanics of games, and I understand the mechanics of Amtgard, and I'm able to use what works and innovate a little bit. And one thing I try to bring to my battle games, like if I'm running a day or an event, I try to set to a schedule and I try to keep a lot of games flowing so nobody has to sit around and get bored. It's hard to get people to come back from their smoke breaks or whatever to come back for a game if you've had an hour between games. You should have games every 30 minutes at most. 15 minutes is great. 15 minutes, go get some water, come back. Here's the next game. So planning and scheduling your battle games is something I'm fairly decent at.
Well, to kind of say what I'm a manager in real life, so leadership kind of comes natural for me. I like not really being in the spotlight, but I like being there to help people, like being there to answer questions. My biggest drawback or weakness is I have a fear of large crowds. So it's really hard for me to talk in front of a large group of people. So sometimes I stutter, sometimes I'm too quiet, but I'm currently working on all of that. So.
Yeah, sorry. My easiest word to say was help, because I'm not such a great fighter, but I'm a great helper. I can throw myself into helping somebody with an event or running an event just as easily. I can be a voice of reason at the side if you need to calm down. So for me, my biggest thing is just that, helping.
Awesome, guys. Thanks. So for the most part, you guys have been in the game for a really long time, which is really awesome. So can you tell me a favorite memory of a time where you performed a service of some sort?
That's okay. Now it's just
you're kind of breaking up. I couldn't understand you.
She was asking for us to give a memory, whether it be good or bad.
Off the top of my head, probably 2013 when I was serving Feast at Rosewood and got my lady title and blamed confusion and ducked out the door. Not gonna lie, I got in trouble for that from my knight and my at the time squire. So probably wasn't my best move, but it was definitely one of my favorite memories.
I'm actually going to call Sir Darius out on this one. It was after a feast of Saracen spaghetti. I won't forget because of the cleaning that was involved afterwards. But a lot of spaghetti was cooked and there was a pile of dishes that needed to be cleaned in the hall. And I looked over and saw this pile of dishes, nobody in the hall at the time. And I just remember bouncing back there and just working on these dishes. And next thing I know, I had Darius next to me and we're just laughing, spraying water at each other and working really hard to just get these dishes done. And I think we were in there till 1 o'clock in the morning until somebody kicked us out, trying to get all those dishes done. And I remember there was a few other people in there helping as well. So it was just a really fun experience and probably my favorite memory of that entire camp out. And it was a lot of work, but it was just a good time.
Yeah,
Dishes piled higher than my head.
mine was something similar to that. I mean, we were help setting up the hall to get ready for feast, and all of a sudden I turn around and I've got, sorry to call her out, but Lady Mom. I got Lady Mom and a group of people standing behind her, and we knocked the hall out, got everything set up, put the tablecloths on, had everything set up, and then her and her crew bolts into the kitchen to help. And it's like, it's one of the greatest memories I have.
So my greatest memory, probably related to the Flame Path, would be helping run NLCC. I want to say it was spring a couple years ago. Becca and I were co-warcratting, and we took turns basically taking shifts to fill up games. And I think we did 14 or 15 games in 2.5 days. So it was pretty good.
That was fun in LCC.
Yeah,
That
a good time.
was.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
I missed it.
Awesome. Let's see. What drives your passion for service?
Oh, that's easy. I mean, I like seeing the smiles on people's faces when you're the one that are standing behind the counters serving, scooping their food. Not only that, you also get to meet a lot of interesting people come through, whether you're just helping out or whether you're kind of guiding people because you were not really asked to, but you're trying to get everything streamlined. It's just the people in general.
Jamie, you go.
Okay. Well, for me, it's one of those things where this community has actually given me a lot in my life. I've been through a lot of ups and downs and sideways, and I feel that the only way that I can give back to a community that's actually given so much to me, whether you guys know it or not, is to give back where I can and do the things to help the community grow and help everybody have somebody to connect to. Because one of my biggest aspects of service is just being there for people. And I feel like the service path is just something that allows me to do that, is to give back to what's been given to me.
All right, I'll go. So I think my main focus has been on Smiths and my fighting, but I think battle games are the lifeblood of Amtgard. I did a survey a while ago, got over 100 responses, and almost all the responses, the things that attracted people to Amtgard were battle games. Fighting and battle games. So if your park is not regularly having 2 to 3 battle games a day, you're really missing the point of Amtgard, in my opinion. Sorry, my cat wants to be on camera, I think. So I really think it's important to have battle games run, and not just battle games, but like good battle games. I really like playing in battle games, but I really hate poorly run battle games. So I'd much rather run a good battle game than play in a bad one. So that's my main drive, is to help keep parks healthy with good battle games.
For me, it's kind of a toss-up, really. I love helping people and seeing somebody who's stressed out, who needs help and doesn't know where to go or doesn't know how they're going to get it done. I love being able to help relieve that and make sure they understand that we've all been there, we've all seen it, we've all done it. But when it comes to my Smith work, I love sitting back and watching an idea I had come to mind and watch everybody just have a ball with it. When I see people laughing and enjoying something that I've helped create, it really helps me feel better and lets me know that I'm doing something for the game that I enjoy doing.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. So at events, be it whether a kingdom level camp out or a land level event, a kingdom level event, how much time do you guys spend in a service role, whether you're in charge for the day and running stuff, or if you're in a support position of some sort? What are you doing and how much time are you spending?
Who wants to go first?
That all depends on what the position is. I mean, like DeVry, him being Warcrat, that honest to say, that does demand a lot of time. But I mean, you've got gate, you've got so many different aspects as far as going to campouts and stuff that you can. So there's a lot of different. So the times vary as far as campouts go. But as far as the park goes, I like to help out as much as possible because a happy park, you get its growth. Like DeVry said, you've got stuff that keeps people coming back, so therefore it grows. More people, more stuff to do. So a lot of time could be required or very little, depending on who else is helping you. So just depends on the situation, I guess, for me anyway.
I think at campouts, I'm not gonna lie, I used to spend so much time helping people that I didn't actually have time to enjoy the campout. But I learned to sit back and take some time and relax and see everybody enjoying it and be a part of the fun. So I spend a little less time helping everybody, but like when I go to the field, I'm always helping. I'm always trying to organize something. So I think I spend a lot more time helping than I actually do most other things.
I would
I'll
say
go.
it varies. Because of my health and conditions and stuff that I had to battle the last few years. When I wasn't able to fight, I would be helping probably 90% of the time. And then now that I'm actually doing a lot more heavy combat outside of Amtgard and within Amtgard doing more combat stuff, I'm definitely investing a lot more time into my fighting. But there is this whole like difference between park and event for me. At park days, I'm definitely out there playing battle games now and doing those things. And then on event days and large scale Kaylees, I tend to step back from the field and then fight. Then fight. I got distracted for a second. And then I take a step back from fighting, and then I help with whatever events being run and whatever things are going on. So that's where my kind of line lies right now.
So basically, if I'm running a Warcrat event, I have running an event as a Warcrat. I have a schedule, which will usually involve battle games from like 10 a.m. to dusk, and I'll be busy that whole time. Then if I'm not running part of the event, then I'm usually going to help read at least one or two games. Or help fill in, run some filler games if need be. At park, if I'm in office, I try to work with the other officers, so nobody has to work all day running games. So usually it'll be myself, the Monarch, and the GMR if we have one, alternating shifts running games. That way, one, everybody gets experience running games because that's important, and two, everybody gets a chance to play if they want to play in a game. And then when I went to keep on, not keep on the Borderlands, I did help keep on the Borderlands. I helped build the castle. And then when I went to Spring War, I helped Reeve a tournament. So, like, even when I travel, I end up helping a little bit.
By the way, you have a beautiful kitty.
I know, he's adorable.
All right, guys, moving on. So let's talk about the past a little bit. So let's think about your early years of Amtgard. As we all know, you guys are at 7 and above for one of the 3 branches of the Flame Path. So tell me a little bit about your early years in Amtgard and the things that you did that got you recognized for your first set of awards. And how did that make you feel? And did that kind of help pursue and push you to kind of continue participating in Amtgard in that kind of manner?
My first award I got was my first rose. I had fractured a bone in my wrist prior to a coronation, and I was trying to help do dishes, and Alexi had told me I was broken and couldn't help. So I jumped in and washed dishes anyway, hoping he wouldn't see me. And I was given my rose because I was stubborn enough to say, I'm not that broken, I can wash dishes. And it just kind of, it let me see where I fit in and where my niche was to get more comfortable with the group as a large whole, and it just drove it.
So I got my first award 3 years after I started playing Amtgard. That kind of tells you a little bit about the culture of award giving when I first started. It was a warrior, and it's taken me a long time to get to my 8th. But my first smith was my first smith ever was in 2015 for writing a Kingdom Relic quest. I had been running games and stuff before that, but that was the first time I was given an award for running anything. And I just that didn't really get me motivated to do more because I was already doing it. I just started getting recognized for it, so that was nice.
I'm thinking back. I'm just trying to remember everything here. My first rose was given for something like cleaning up a hall or something. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head, but I do remember my second, and that's the one that kind of stuck with me. My second rose was for starting craft nights at SM. And I think that's a big thing that stuck with me because that's something I'm still continually passionate about to this day and something I still love to do. My first lion was for running an NL Qualls. That was a very awesome experience, and I'll never forget that. And it was really fun. And my first smith, I believe, was for running. Let me think here. I think my first smith was also for running a Qualls at land level. So, it's just I wouldn't say it increased my drive for those two categories, but definitely the one in the flame path, it definitely gave me a passion because I love running craft nights. It's still one of my favorite things to do. And after all this like stay-at-home orders are over, I plan on opening my house back up again, and I'm really excited for it. So.
Well, I had to think back, and actually I had to go look it up. I got my first award, and then I ended up having to work all the time, so I didn't really get a chance to enjoy it. But I got 2 awards on the same day that kind of really pushed it. But I got my first rose for just literally helping out, driving around, grabbing people, bringing them to the park. It's also the first time I was actually a champion of a park, and I figured that, hey, might as well go grab some people, bring them to the park, let's have some fun. I ran my first battle game that day, and really, I just went up, started pushing it from there.
I just looked through my orc again. I got my first rose 10 years after I started Amtgard. Not because I wasn't helping. Give those early awards out often and freely. Don't let your newbies go 10 years without a rose.
Please don't.
No,
Yeah.
don't.
To be honest, don't let anybody go without getting recognized for something they do, because so many people get overlooked because it's what they always do.
So that'll bring us into our next topic of burnout. So how do you guys suggest preventing burnout for people who maybe are not getting recognized? And how do you suggest people prevent burnout just in general? Maybe they're pushing it too much, or they just got way too many things going on. What do you guys suggest?
Well, I floated my suggestion earlier and you vetoed it. So
To be honest, there's no way to really suggest to avoid burnout. Everybody's going to go through some form of burnout. It's like kids have to fall before they learn to run. The suggestion is once you reach burnout, take a step back, breathe, learn what you like about this game, and then learn to keep those from happening again. Don't let yourself get to that limit. Take a break.
Yeah, I kind of agree with Brandy. The way that you kind of not really prevent it, but kind of slow it, is don't do too many things all at once. If you're gonna do a rose path, if you love to help, concentrate on helping. Eventually, you will get recognized, and then they'll start rolling in from there. I mean, I've seen a lot of people reach that point, but then kind of stop and go, wait, and then take a step back, like Brandy suggested. Just don't go full bore 100%, 110%, trying to do everything at once. It'll burn you out quicker than not.
I think when it comes to burnout, it's really important to know the signs. In my personal life, I very dang well am burnt out with my management job, but I didn't take the precautions to stop myself before burnout. And it's really knowing the signs of a burnout before it's about to happen. So that way you can get in touch with the people that help hold you accountable. I know within my Nightly family, I could go to almost any of them at any time when I'm about to hit that burnout stage and say, I need your help. I need some advice. I'm hitting this stage. I'm stressed out. Please help me. And I think that's the important thing with burnout is knowing when to ask for help and who to ask for help and knowing the signs before you hit that. And if you are about to hit that burnout, don't take a full step and say, peace, I'm out. Just kind of take a step back and breathe for a moment and still be involved and then find out where your place is and what you need to do to prevent yourself from fully burning out. But the biggest thing is asking for help and having that accountability, in my opinion.
DeBry, you got anything positive to say?
I mean,
Day drinking was positive.
and that comes from somebody who doesn't drink.
I do on occasion.
I think the most important thing is recognizing the signs of burnout, irritability, depression. Like normally if it's something you love and you're dreading going, well, at that point, it might be a good idea to take a step back and give yourself some time to reflect on the things that you do enjoy about it and maybe not take as much responsibility on. Seek help like people are asking, and understand that a little small dose of nihilism can make everything better.
Fantastic. All really good advice, you guys. Can you tell me a little bit about somebody who has been a mentor for you in the service path and something that you've learned from them?
That's a hard one.
So very hard.
Choosing
I
one?
will definitely.
Go ahead. You guys go first.
What?
Okay.
No, go ahead.
What I was going to say is honestly, I look up to my Night a lot. And I think the most valuable thing that she's taught me is having gratitude. And it's not just gratitude for the things that you personally have, but the people around you and giving them gratitude. If somebody helps with me, it's important to say thank you. Because when you say thank you, you see that smile across their face and it makes it all worth it in the end. And she has taught me that gratitude is so important. She's always telling me, make sure you thank that person, make sure you thank that person, make sure you thank that person. And the more you start to have that gratitude, it is like expanded beyond my Amtgard realm. And it's like actually helped me in my personal life. So I'll have to say Lady Mom and her never ending sense of gratitude for everybody around her and reminding us to have gratitude is a huge step in everything. And she inspires me every day with that.
I'll go. So, as far as I've had way more mentorship and partially because I've sought it out more, I've had way more mentorship in my opinion in the sword path. and maybe it's a little easier to get that. But I think on the Smith path and the Lion path, I don't think we do a very good job of mentoring as a game. I don't see enough workshops or people talking about the mechanics of games on a large scale. It's usually a couple peers kind of talking after a battle game, and you kind of learn from your mistakes. I was never sat down and told, "Hey, this is how you run a battle game. This is what you do to prevent somebody spawn camping. Like this is how you prevent people from spawning right over the scoring zone, making it impossible to score on a touch-in game. Also, don't do touch-in games. There's just not a lot of mentoring I see in the Smith path, and it's something that I think we should work on. As far as the Lion path, again, I don't see a lot of mentoring. I don't see leadership classes. I don't see people doing that as a general thing. And I met my knight when I already had 7 Smiths and 4 Lions or whatever I'm at. So I was already well on the path before I even met my knight, and he's helped a bit, but he lives in Texas. I live here, so there's only so much I can get at any given time. So,
Gosh, I've got a whole bunch. Like, it's not just one person that's ever encouraged me or inspired me. I've got the 4 horsewomen of the apocalypse, that have all taught me something very key. For those who don't know about the 4 horsewomen of the apocalypse, that would be Aristeri, Thornessa, Lady Mom, and Cytheria. Also, my knight, Klepto, my squire sister. A lot of people that just they've seen what I've done. They've taught me how to do more things. I do agree with you, DeVry. There is a lack of teaching people as far as Smith or Lion go. I do my part. I try. If somebody says they want to do a battle game, I'll hear them out. I'll try to help them out. But there's a lack of it. Also, some people are a little bit more judgy when people want to jump in, and we need to remember we were all there once too.
Yeah, I agree with the two of you that the Lion and the Smith path is lacking in the mentorship. But as far as the people that have mentored me, calling out your knight, Brandy. My knight, Lady Mom, Duke, Darius, a couple others. Jericho was one of them. Both. So yeah, it's a wide range of people that have I've asked for help, and they've actually sat down and say, "Hey," and gave me a lot of interesting take on different stuff, and a lot of good mentorship out there. It's just we need some more in leadership and Smith area. So.
Awesome. So DeVry stepped out for a minute. I'll pop him back into the stream once he returns. So it sounds like you guys have had some really good mentors and you've gotten some good advice from them. What are you guys currently doing to share your own knowledge and become mentors for others?
I mean, I currently have a page, but other than my page, it's pretty much anybody wants to ask me for help, they can message me, they can call me, they can whatever, and I will do everything I can to help them.
I will say currently with the crisis at hand with our world state is right now, I'm extremely, extremely busy, but I have been trying to make the effort currently to message people once in a while and ask them what they're working on or how they're doing and just see how they're doing through everything and make sure they're doing okay. I just had to cancel an event I was working on planning with a team of people for over a year. And that was a really hard thing to let go of for a little while, because a lot of passion went into that. So it's just kind of the building blocks now of entering a bid again, getting the possibility to do an event again, and things like that, and trying to kind of figure out a plan for the next year.
I have a couple of pages that I'm currently mentoring, but at the same time, I mean, we've had a couple of people that, hey, I have this idea. What's your suggestion on it? I do reach out to not only my park members but other park members and see how they're doing and see what they could use help in, or if even asking for them for advice. So it's kind of a back and forth. Not only do I mentor, but I also get mentored, I guess. But yeah, I try to do as much as I can.
Awesome. That's great, you guys. Let's see. So for people who are wanting to get started in the service realm, how do you suggest them to go about it? What should be the first steps, the first kind of things that they kind of do to get in without kind of diving, deep into the waters?
To be honest, I'm going to steal Lady Mom's suggestion and just tell them, if you see something going on, walk up and ask where you can help. It's the easiest way to dip your toes in.
You got
that question? I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So DeVry, welcome back. So the question was, how do you suggest to players who are looking to kind of dip their toes into the service realm? How do they get started without kind of just like diving into the deep waters of the service pool?
Does everybody else answered already?
Just Brandy.
Okay, I can wait till the end. Sorry.
Okay.
I would say you have to find what you're passionate about. I mean, if you try to just jump into one and you're not passionate about it, it won't be your cup of tea, and it'll be. But yeah, I guess dip your feet in a little bit, find out where your passion is, and start there.
I agree with both what Rune Silver and Brandy both said. Those are both very important. But along with that too, is make sure, how I'm trying to think of the phrase that I just lost it. I just opened the fridge and shut it in the middle of the night. My brain just went off. I wanted to say I agree with them, and then I just forgot what I was going to say. Don't sit around and wait for somebody to ask you to do something, because you guys, I'll probably have all experienced this. People aren't necessarily going to ask for help. So it's one of those things you want to be able to pay attention on the things that you're passionate about and see where you can come help, because most of the time people aren't going to be asking for the help. You need to go find the help where your puzzle fits into the piece. So definitely ask when you want to help, step in when you want to help, and don't just sit around and wait to be asked.
Let there be light.
Okay, so let's talk about Smiths really quick. One of the easiest ways to get in to do Smith stuff would be to help reeve. Ask people, hey, can I reeve? And then don't just ask them to reeve. Ask them, especially if you think they're a good battle game designer, ask them why the mechanics are designed the way they are. Be inquisitive about it, because that will give you a base of knowledge to then start building your own games. As far as Lions, really, if somebody's doing something cool, like running a demo, get involved with it, ask them where you can help, and then figure out how they're doing their logistics and their planning, because that's a lot of being a good lion, doing the whole lion thing, is delegating. So understanding, planning, and delegating what your issues are so you can run something larger than what you could do by yourself. That's the leadership aspect. And then roses are simple. Battle game's over. Everybody's going to get water. Help pick up the battle game. End of the day, you're there with the monarch. People left trash. Help pick up the trash. Simple stuff like that, where you're being of service and you're getting yourself recognized and known. On the flip side, if you're in Monarchy and you don't have a notepad taking notes of what people are doing to help the land, and I'm guilty of this, I don't always do it. If you're not making notes either in your phone or on a notepad or something of small service acts like that, you're failing your populace and doing what you should be doing to recognize people.
Also, on a side note, I want people to remember, don't cut anybody off from service. Take turns, understand everybody's working on a lot of the same path.
And that's another thing. No idea is a dumb idea. Like, if you have an idea for a battle game or a quest or something along the Smith lines, or maybe an idea for an event, don't be afraid to talk to somebody that's maybe run an event or ran a battle game and say, I have this idea. I'd like some support. And then that way your ideas get known and the plans that you have get known. And know that every idea is a good idea, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah, I agree with everybody. I mean, with ideas, everybody has one that could be the next great idea. It could be the next awesome battle game. It could be the next awesome event. It could be a way to really move the game forward. And you can't squash that. You have to foster it, promote it.
Awesome. So I'm going to ask one last question, and then we're going to open it up to our viewers.
Start spamming us questions.
So what is one thing you want to be remembered for when it comes towards the service realm? When you were long gone and we're like 50 years in the future, and somebody looks back and thinks about you guys, what do you want to be known for?
I'll start. So I want to be known as one of the current crop of really good smiths coming up. I want to be known as one of the group that really pushed the kingdom to the next level on battle games and event running. Right now, we have a lot of people who are really good smiths that are actively pushing. Miller Time, Degar, Becca, myself. Who is there? Somebody else that's up there on Smiths? I know Theo is up there on Smiths, but he hasn't been doing as much as he used to.
Yeah, I think also like Chiba-sama, I think, has a lot of Smiths.
Chiba?
Well. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Chiba's dope.
Well, I know Emma's not in our kingdom anymore, but
right.
they're amazing.
Emma's awesome.
I'm almost there.
Okay, cool. So I want to be known as, and I know Heron's not up at 7 yet, but she's really pushing hard and improving things and really pushing. So I really want to be known as one of those people who together we really push the kingdom to the next level on our standards for battle games and events.
I want to second what DeVry said to an extent and be a part of that moving forward structure. And be known that like I was like a part of the group that helped move the battle games to the future, basically, and move the events to the next big thing that we can do. Because we got a lot of cool things coming up in society and a lot of cool opportunities that are available to us. And I'd like to be a part of that forward momentum. So I'm right there with DeVry on that.
Go ahead, Brandy.
So I think as far as Smith goes, I don't really want to be that, you pushed it to the next level, because again, that's DeVry. I'm one behind you, so I guess I'm learning from you. Good luck. I want to be known as, I want to be remembered for a person who came up with ideas and pulled them off to the best of my ability. People had fun with the things I set up and ran. As far as Flame, to be honest, just being that person that, gosh, I wish she was here. She was always willing to help and available. That, I think, would be the best part for people to actually remember that I was always there and available.
Yeah, I agree with DeVry and Galleria and Christine on this. I want to be remembered for really that outstanding leader that will make sure that it's there. It's always available, a way to somebody to come to. If I don't know, these other three that are here with me might. I mean, so I want to be remembered, I guess, as a great leader that had a good team behind him. I mean, a leader is almost as good as his team, right? So I
Their
mean,
teams are always amazing.
All right, so moving forward, we're now going to move questions to our viewers. Please keep your questions along the flame path. So questions about Smith, Rose, Lions. So now's that time. We'll give a few moments because we know there's a little bit of a lag between the actual stream and the live stream. So bring it on.
No,
that's not a question.
she's trying. She's trying really hard. Midna, Mabby, shush.
Isn't that like barbarian language?
I think so. I think she's
It
just
does-
trying to say, "Put me on camera."
It has a hint of barbarian to it. Just saying.
I think they're saying, "Feed me. I require feast." That's
It's either that or they're walking too loud upstairs. So we can blame Miller because he's walking around upstairs.
Shut up, cat. Stop trying to compete with the dogs.
If
I
you
think my
can't
cat's
hear, we got
facing.
somebody standing right next to me giggling.
Is that Blue Rose?
That is.
Hi, Blue Rose.
all right. Let's see.
I'm not seeing any questions yet.
Crazy.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything yet either. We'll give them another moment. It's we've got 15 people watching. It looks like, so maybe they're
I
thinking.
think at least a couple of them are us because I'm watching the stream.
Likewise,
one
I
of
have it up on my
one
computer.
of them is my.
So there's
one of
like-
them is my wife.
So there's like 9 people, you know.
I'm
All right,
wondering
so
how
I've got
many
a
more
question.
people are going to watch it
You got a
later.
question, DeVry?
So, what are your guys' plan? What's your next steps that you want to try to implement?
I'm actually. Go ahead, Brandy.
Oh, sorry. I was just say, I mean, personally, a lot of my stuff was put on hold with I'm going to call it a quarantine. But originally, my next steps were I was working with the New Kingdom Monarchy on a theme for the Reign and how we were going to do ANS stuff as well as Spidey Whack Questy stuff. Rune was there when we planned it out. It was awesome. New Year's Eve, got a rocket.
Oh yeah.
So I think my next steps are just to ride out till the quarantine, do what I can at home, videos that I've been asked to post, and then helping the kingdom out with the theme if we're still going to carry it through. We put some work into that quest.
Well, right now for me, I'm writing a quest for the first time ever. We'll see how that goes. And then I'm also doing helping Veronica out with this where I can and doing whatever I can to really support the online system going on right now where I can, when I can.
It's bedtime. Go night.
As far as my next step goes, it's same thing. I really was looking forward to this last NLCC. There was a lot of great ideas I wanted to see pulled off. I actually missed that. I hope we actually get a chance to do that. But I want to. I'm going to be stepping up at the park, and actually, what we talked about here now is just the leadership. I mean, mentoring the Smith type. It was a great idea. I might as well start helping where I can.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and answer my own question. So my next steps initially were I was going to be helping with Mid-Reign and NLCC Fall, both of which have been canceled. NLCC Fall might still happen, but as a day event, so we'll see. Lately, what I've been doing as far as Smith stuff is I've been helping. I've been running video Q&As and stuff specifically on things that I've taught classes on, like battle game design, spell casting, stuff like that. I'm going to try to continue to do stuff like that, try to bring other people in. And then after that, I really want to focus on getting some more good battle games going. Just whenever I can. I'm currently the Pro Temp champion of Greenwood Keep. And I would love to get back out to the park and get things going once it's safe. And we're going to have to focus a lot, I think, on recruitment and retention as well, just because I don't know if everybody's coming back after the COVID stay-at-home orders are lifted. So
Awesome. So it looks like we've got some questions on the side here. So from Unum, we've got, how do you see event running changing in light of the current COVID situation? What do you guys see improving? What do you guys think?
Cleanliness, I think, is going to be a big improvement. But I don't really see a whole lot changing with the way we run our events after this. It's still going to be day events or campouts with fighty wax and crafty stuff and fun.
I agree with Brandy on this. It's probably not going to change the fighting style, because it's not going to be the 6 feet apart. We're still going to get in there and actually get the engagement that the fighty wax are known for. The crafting stuff, I think what it's going to do is I think it's going to bring it out more as far as that goes. And I think we'll see a little more people actually kind of stepping up and trying to get the cleanliness, as it was already stated, done faster.
I think as far as what's going to change, so I'm less concerned about the changes that COVID is going to bring. I'm more concerned about the economic fallout of COVID. If we hit a massive downturn, we're going to have to find a way to bring our prices down, which means probably having less modern facilities, which is going to make it harder to be cleanly. Also, I don't think it would be a smart idea to do any large gatherings like an NLCC or a Pack War until there's actually a vaccine developed, but that's another question. So as far as changing, I'm a little worried about the financial implications of our future events and what we can charge for them, knowing that several of our members might be losing a job due to the shutdowns.
I've been working very steadily, like out in the real world with everything going on right now, seeing hundreds of people a day and watching mannerisms and watching my own mannerisms. And I've noticed, like, I will have to say, as much as a lot of people think that or feel that things are going to go back to a normal, I think that there's going to be a new wave of what is normal. And I think that's going to lead a bit into event running. A lot of people who are normally not really concerned about personal space or personal bubbles might be a little bit more self-aware of their surroundings. Therefore, you know, sharing drinks, things like that are going to be less and less. People want to be like up in each other's business is going to be less and less. Because I find myself, who's normally not even concerned with personal space, like just even my own husband, I'm a couple inches away more than normal, I'm a little more hesitant around people. And I think that is where, if anything in the culture, is something we're going to have to accept as a change and something that can happen. I also see, of course, there's going to be a lot more cleanliness going on, a lot more self-aware of like coughing into somebody's shoulder, or even when people are sick. And hopefully, I will say this, because we've had a notorious problem with people bringing a crud to the camp out. And I'm hoping this will help people be more self-aware that if they do have the crud of some sort, to just stay home. Because none of us like to come home from a 3-day event super sick and end up miserable, having to call into work or do things like that. So I think overall, yeah, there is going to be some changes with the COVID situation, but I also think there's going to be some good development through it. I'm a very positive thinker of that. I feel that it's bringing us together as a community right now, and I feel that that should help our events grow and things grow too. So with everything bad, there's always something a little bit good coming out of it.
I think we need to create an award for the you stayed home and didn't bring your crud to the park day.
Maybe they'd stay home then. All right. Let's see. Let's check it out if we got any other questions. I'm going to scroll up a little bit and make sure we didn't miss anything in the beginning. All right. So it looks like we've got a question from Candy. How would you help get someone up to the level you are in Roses and Smiths? Just in general, like how would you guys push somebody forward?
All right, I'll
Get them
start.
involved with whatever I'm doing. Like, if like, don't be afraid to ask those people like that we know that you can see are fighting and wanting to be involved, or if they are maybe too shy to come ask. Keep our eyes open as people who are on the path that there might be somebody who's too shy to ask, and go them and say, hey, is there any way you want to help, or are you interested in helping? And get to know the people out there and get to know their path and support them by getting them involved with what you're doing, whether it be writing a game, writing a battle game, playing a monster for you, or, you know, running an event, having them do a co-prat position or a secondary position, something like that.
Okay, now I'll start. So, the question was, how would you suggest getting somebody up to the level you are at in Roses and Smiths?
How would you help somebody get there? Yeah.
Right. So assuming they have the drive to do it, that's the base assumption, right? Getting them started helping in small ways, like reaving, setting up battle games, talking shop, things like that. And then as they get to the point where they're starting to run their own stuff, support them, read for them, help them set up the field. Running battle games, especially the more complicated you get to set up, is a lot of work, and it can take you an hour to set up the field, but if you had 4 people, well, then it can take you 15 minutes. So it's really important to support the people who are running the games and support the people who are doing things for you so people have stuff to do. So basically just to help them get involved, and then as they start kind of pushing on their own, help support them, help bounce ideas with them, break their games, not during the game, but before it, read the rules, break their game, and then help them fix it.
I agree with DeVry on Smiths. As far as the Rose side of that goes, I would say that if me personally, if I needed help and I know somebody that is always willing to help, Brandy, I'd send somebody after him. Hey, go get this person, tell them I need help, and have them come help me with whatever I was doing, whether it be setting up for a game, whether it be cleaning the kitchen, breaking down the tables, stacking the chairs, whatever it may be. As far as getting there, I mean, if I know they're willing to help, I'm going to send for them.
My turn? Okay. So, it's kind of something I've been doing throughout the whole time. Like if I see somebody that I know does a lot of service but doesn't get recognized, I tend to go straight to the monarchy and then send in my suggestions that they should be recognized. But I'll also go to those people that I know are wanting to. And for instance, I don't remember who it was. It might have been Rune Silver. Walked up and asked me to reave, and then somebody else who was trying to go on the Rose Path wanted to reave a game, and they asked if I wanted to keep reaving or step aside. And I'm like, you know what? I just reaved a game because you asked me. If they want to get their marks in there and they want to do this, then let me step aside and let them do it. I've gone to those same people for Smith, and I'll sit down and talk to them and see if there's an idea they want, and I help them achieve it. But I've done really good about pushing them into the foresight and me into the background because it just works easier for me. Otherwise, generally, I try to be an example and help them along their path and get them recognized as much as possible.
Any other questions, people?
Ooh, so looks like we don't have any other questions streaming in. So do any of you have any questions that you would like to ask?
All right. So as a Smith, I'm curious. What's the worst battle game you've played, and what's the best?
Okay, the worst battle game I
don't-
played was,
You don't have to throw anybody under the bus. Just give the synopsis.
without throwing anybody under the bus, I'm just gonna throw myself under the bus. I tried a battle game once. It was a great idea. It seemed grand at the time. I don't even remember exactly the details of what it was now. I just remember it was a trial and a severe error because it did not work. People were bickering and fighting and going back and forth. But that was definitely an experience and a very big learning experience. That hasn't happened since then. But I will say that the best battle game that I've ever played is actually Kingsman. I enjoy that game a lot, and it's really fun. And I believe it's Miller who wrote that one up or reconstructed it from something. But Kingsman is probably my favorite game. For those of you who haven't played, you can message me later and I'll tell you all about it. But it's probably Kingsman.
Do you want to go, Rune?
Sure, since you like hiding in the background.
I'm good at it.
Okay, so as far as the worst battle game, I don't think I have one. I mean, there have some that come close. I mean, there was one that was it was a new person and they wanted to try a game, and well, it didn't go off as planned. It was a little sketchy, jumpy. But as far as the best one I've run into or played, it was I kind of throw myself under the bus on this one. I like the game Fallen. It was interesting. It starts everybody else out, and it's actually quite fun. If you want to know, go ahead and message me. I can send you the write up for it. So.
I want to say my worst battle game, and some people are probably going to hate me, is Goblin Ball. I hate it. It gets me every time. I get confused. I end up getting hurt when I do play. But my best battle game I think I ever got to play in was Young versus Old at my first pack war. I was the only healer, unfortunately, on the old side. I never had a chance to fight on the young side, so I got to enjoy a lot of experienced fighters and see a lot of really awesome ways they handle the game.
So my worst game that I've played in, and I'll also give my worst game that I've run too. The worst game that I've played in are really, it's kind of a set of games that all have the same goal. Any game where the goal is to run to the center as fast as you can, grab a singular flag or something, and run it back to your base just becomes a foot race. It goes against my philosophy of battle game design. Battle games should encourage conflict. They should not encourage not conflict. So if you design a game that encourages people not to fight, like a hide and seek in the woods, and whoever wins is the one that lasts the longest, well, that discourages conflict. So it's not fun, in my opinion. Also, another game, I tried to raid DFV once, and I brought like 6 people, and they brought all of Eclipse and a bunch of Saracens.
I remember that day.
And yeah, it was not a fun day. I was not happy about that day. But that was partially nobody showed up to help. So then the best battle game I've played in, I'm trying to remember. I've played in a lot of really good ones. I just have to pick one. I can't bring off the best battle game that I've ever played in my mind.
Ditching.
The worst. Ditching. Yeah, ditching's a great battle game.
The best.
No, I've played in some fun ones. A couple of the ones Becca ran that I got to play in at NLCC were pretty good. Yeah, I don't remember the best one off the top of my head. Did I tell you guys the worst one I ran?
No.
No, I don't think so. So it was at SM. It was a battle game that you have two goals. Basically, it was two caravans that one team would transport to their goal, the other team would transport to their goal. Well, I just did them linearly. So literally all that had to happen was one team would cut off the other team, pin them to the side of the field, and then they'd be able to just walk unobstructed to their goal. So I had to end up switching the field layout to make it to where the caravans crossed in the middle of the field versus running up the sides. And that helped. Also, it was a little unbalanced the first time we ran it, so that really didn't help. And it was a 30-minute game. I cut it off in 10 minutes because nobody was having fun. So that's another thing. Smiths, if your game is crap and you see it's crap and people aren't having fun, cut it short. You can always run another game. Don't let the bad attitudes fester by keeping it running because you said it's got a time limit.
Ask for criticism
Also-
too. That'll help you fix it.
Yeah, always ask for criticism and always set a time limit. That's another thing. Don't let a game run indefinitely. Okay, I'm done.
All right, looks like we've got a question from Cyric. Who are your go-to people to help with topics that are outside of your particular branch of the flame path?
Mine would be Darian, my knight, Klepto, my squire sister, and typically, usually Rusty and Thornessa, sometimes Lady Mom, depending on who I can get a hold of.
Oop, Galleria, we can't hear you.
Okay, sorry. Had it on mute because my dogs were barking. So I feel that, like, of course, my nightly family I go to a lot and talk to a lot. Doesn't matter where they're at in the path, but I always try and get advice from them. And then I also quite frequently talk to Darius. He's been somebody for leadership that I talk to quite often. So Darius is definitely somebody I talk to a lot. But other than that, it's just whoever's willing to listen, whoever's willing to support, and whoever really has been there. I try and pick and choose people who have been in the circumstance, and I hear all sides of the story and all sides of the advice.
Well, as far as outside the flame path goes, it's a various different people. I've even gone to DeVry for some help. It all depends on the particular topic. I mean, you got to give me specifics because I've gone to, like I said, DeVry, Duke, Dogboy, Brandy, Darius, Darian. So, just a little more specific.
Am I the only one that hasn't answered?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So most of my queries outside of the flame path, and usually I'll talk to my peers in the flame path. I don't know how many Smith Knights we have in the Northern Lights.
None.
None. Okay, well, let's work on that. So generally my queries outside of the flame path are generally either about leadership or fighting. So I'll talk to Cyric, I'll talk to my knight Megiddo, I'll talk to Delos and Anatole, and I got in pretty good with a few of the upper end fighters because my connection through Megiddo, so that's cool, and I can talk to them, get advice. Locally, like I'll talk to Miller about fighting stuff and about thoughts of the kingdom, stuff like that. I talk to Degar a lot about various things. Talk to my friends Heron and a bunch of my Templar brothers. Yeah, so it's pretty good to have a wide range of opinions and views on questions you might have. So you should talk to a lot of people. Yeah.
Awesome. Looks like we have one last question, and then we're going to close out. What's the worst ran events and best ran events that you can think of? Specifics are not necessary, but vague concepts of why they are bad or what made them not enjoyable, and vice versa.
Can I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So the worst ran event I can think of that I was present at that I actually know what happened was North War. The second North War, the first one was called Anti-Clan. I was the warcrat for it, and I went way out of my comfort zone and stretched myself way too far. And it was in August. It was August, and it was like 95 degrees, and nobody wanted the battle game anyway. So we didn't really do much other than hang out in camp with like 40 people, which was fun. But the actual event, we way overspent our food budget because we expected more people. We still made money because the site was basically free, which was awesome. But part of that free site was we had to entertain children for a couple hours every day and like have them ditch. So a lot of things that I would not recommend happen again happened at that event, but we still had a good time. It was just poorly run. Knox saved our bacon actually doing the accounting for North War. So he was there and he was helping the whole time, which was nice. The best run event I've been to. Spring War went off pretty good. Things seemed to go off on time. The food was good. Battle games were okay. I only played in like one or two of them, so I can't really comment on those too much. I don't generally like large battle games. I don't like playing in them. And then I think we've had a couple good NLCCs and a couple, shakier NLCCs. Yeah, I think I can give you a definitive worst, which was one I ran. So, yeah, it was great.
I can't really say that best ran because there's been so many really, really good ones that it's hard to choose. There was one that I was at that was Outer Kingdom, and they were late on everything. I mean, one of the battle games that was supposed to go off, that was supposed to be the big changer, was actually 4.5 hours late, and we ended up doing it most of the way into the start. Stuff just kept going wrong, one thing after another. So I would say that would be the worst run. But I like a lot of the ones that, Pack War there was a lot of good Pack Wars that I've been to, a lot of good NLCs I've been to, a lot of good Rosewoods. Haven't been to Spring War yet. Planning on going to Clan one of these years. And up until this year, I had planned on going to Rakdos. So still going to try to attempt that, but this year.
I can't really judge on best or worst. I mean, I ran a few campouts for SM, and I know there's been hitches in like every campout I've gone to. I can go with my least fun to my most fun. I think my least fun was when I decided to just day trip a Pack War because there was so much chaos and so much that was supposed to go on that didn't go on. But at the same time, I had a little bit of fun because I got to socialize with my nightly family and hang out with friends, and that was great. I think the most fun I've had at a campout would be my first Rosewood, which I went with Rune and Candy. Because there was the pirate theme and everybody was having so much fun, and you just couldn't help but enjoy every piece of it, including when all of Eclipse had bounties on our heads.
I'd have to say, I really am a firm believer in things are what you make it. I know some of the worst campouts for me have been, I'm a very, I've mentioned before, I like to help people. I like to be there for people. So a lot of the times for me, what makes an event bad is when people bring outside drama and want to talk to me about drama at a campout or talk to me about something they're struggling with, because I'm a very empathic person. So it tends to infect my entire weekend when it's something super negative. So really that's what makes a camp out bad for me, is when things get really overly dramatic or painful or emotional. But the best camp outs for me are really every single one, because it's the best is what you make it. So I mean, it kind of contradicts each other, but the hard times I can overcome to make them the best ones ever. So, but I do have to say one of the things that stands out for me in a camp out is actually this last pack war, because I made a vow at last pack war that I would help in the evening time, but during the daytime I would participate in the games and the tournaments, and I got the chance to do that rather than videotaping everything or running around doing service. So that one stands out to me as like my favorite camp out, because I actually actively was out doing things.
I would like to actually say one thing. There was one Rosewood in particular, the Thurston County Fairground one. I think we all learned a lesson that we shouldn't be sharing a site with another with another event.
The
So
Rosewood that should not
that
be
was
named.
rough. Yeah,
The Cannon.
that was a
I'm
rough
sorry.
one. That
Oh God.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, really great views, you guys. Viewers, if you want to keep asking questions, please feel free. As whenever we have time, we can go through and answer your questions. Obviously, these guys are really great, and I'm sure they are willing to answer your questions anytime, so please hit them up. Please stay tuned and look forward to our next stream. Hopefully, we'll be setting a date for that soon. Thank you for being our guest and answering all of our questions and hanging out with us.
Yeah, no problem.
No problem.
Oh, Gally, you're off again.
I just said thank you for hosting, and it was fun.
Thanks,
Awesome, you guys. Well, have a great
everybody.
night. Thank you, viewers. Thank you, guests. We'll see you all soon.
Bye.